Hello planty friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Shannon, this is Planted 386, and I'm so happy that you're here. Today I thought I would take you through, hi guys, and show you how I water. Basically, I'm just doing some planty chores today, and I'm working in my Barina cabinet right now. And so yeah, I'll turn it around and I'll kind of just walk you through how I would normally water. I do typically come through on a weekly basis. And kind of my rule of thumb when it comes to watering is basically if it doesn't feel like it needs water, it will go another week. And that's something that's come with time and has been something that I've had to learn because I can be an overwaterer. I like to water my plants. It's just kind of like my time to bond with them. So yeah, that's pretty much that. Semi-hydro, which if you missed my last video, can be very helpful if you are an overwaterer like myself. So most of my plants you'll see are in semi-hydro. I am currently dealing with some spider mite issues, but overall I think my collection is in pretty good shape, and yeah, so I'm excited to share that with you. All right, without further ado, let's get into it. But before we do, if you could like, subscribe, share, tell a friend, all the things, I would be very grateful. Just really looking forward to starting a planty community here on YouTube and making new planty friends. So yeah, this is my co-pilot Samson. You'll probably see him in and out because it's always his business. Everything is his business. All right, guys, let's get into it. All right, so I know this lighting isn't ideal. I am currently right in front of the Barina cabinet, and it's like being on the surface of the sun, if I'm being honest. It's incredibly bright. And I'm just kind of finishing up watering this row. When I'm done with this row, I'll kind of bring you guys along for the bottom row. It's just easier that way. I basically just use this little can, and this is my refill can, and this is currently what I'm using for fertilizer. This is just GT Foliage Focus. I'm actually out though, so I am going to be switching it up and trying something new. I am going to be working with a Fox Farm product, and while I like their soil, I've never tried their feed, so I'm definitely going to look into mixing a batch of that. This is just my Alocasia aslanii. This is what I mean by pond. If you caught my last video, you'll know that I mentioned pond being very prone to getting algae, but this plant actually just recently bloomed for me. So I know that while it doesn't look super cute, it doesn't seem to be taking away from the plant. It's actually about to put out another leaf, and I was actually about to lose this plant until I put it into pond. So same thing with this Alocasia here. This is Alocasia dragon scale, and I had the same issue with her. She was on her way out, and here we go. Not only is she doing amazing, but she has some lovely roots in there, which I don't know if you can see them. Yeah, I think you can see them. And she has a ton of little corms. Can you guys see them in the top of the pot? You see all those? Tons of them. So this plant's super happy. She's about to put out a new leaf. I know some of her leaves are a little wonky looking, but this was kind of in the transition period from soil to semi-hydro. This is actually the mix that I make, and I just love the undersides. She does have some subtle variegation too. It's kind of like just little flecking. Can you guys see that? I don't even know if you can tell. It's very, very subtle, but pretty cool nonetheless. And she loves it in there. She's been doing great. So yes, they kind of sit side by side in this cabinet. I am obsessed with Alocasia aslanii. And then this is Alocasia. This is Anthurium Crystal Red Michelle, and then Ace Crystal Red. I did just treat her, and I hate to do that because she has this beautiful little leaf emerging, but she has some spider mites. So I have been battling spider mites like crazy, and I don't know if it's ever going to come to an end, you guys. You can see this nice little juicy root right here. Can you see it? Yeah. You can see it. And this is the substrate that I was just talking about in my most recent video. And that is a method that I've been trying. And I actually found this from Plant Gay for Life here on YouTube. And he basically uses leca as a reservoir with semi-hydro, and then he tops his anthuriums with a little layer of moss. And I have had really, really good luck by doing that. Actually, I did not want to put her up yet because she's still a little damp. Okay, and then this is a anthurium that I am trying to rehab, and it's got some nice roots still, but I'm not sure this guy's gonna make it. Nonetheless, I am just gonna leave him in here. I did have him obviously just like in this little jar with some plastic wrap on top for the humidity factor, but I think instead of trapping him in entirely, I'm going to leave it cracked just slightly, just a little air hole, and see if that helps, because I don't know, I'm not sure he's loving his situation. And then for these last couple, I'm just literally going to top them off with water. I have a melanochrysum baby in here that I just took a cutting of, a Scindapsus trebii moonlight that I also just recently propagated. This is the cutie patootie little dragon's breath that I just got. I've never owned a dragon's breath, and I swore I wasn't going to do any more alocasia because I've just struggled so hard with alocasia. But this guy, literally, I put him into this substrate of mine, and he's just popping off roots like crazy. He's given me these 2 new leaves, which unfortunately look a little bit bleached, but he is about to give me this 2 more new leaves. So really, I put him in the substrate and he just went crazy. So if you are struggling with alocasia, I'm telling you, the substrate is golden. So that's that little guy, so cute. And then I have this little guy. This is Alocasia Pink Dragon. This is actually in soil. But he does have a little corm sprouting. So that's exciting. One thing I'm learning about this alocasia specifically, because I had a mother plant that did not make it. These are just a couple of her corm babies. This plant is one that doesn't seem to produce new ones from the current petiole, at least in my experience. It seems to only duplicate by producing corms. And I don't know if you can see that little guy, but can you see him? He's sprouting up anyways. He's coming, so that's kind of exciting. Which I know there is alocasias that do. This guy didn't make it. I didn't think he would. Oh, we have some extra semi-hydro. I know there are alocasias that do that grow differently from one another. I just don't know which ones are which. This is a very sad sight to see. This is Doc Block Michelle Selft. And she's bone dry, so that's on me. Her roots look great, but her leaves are just struggling. So I also dropped this plant. I literally dropped it. I knocked it over, knocked it totally upside down. I've done that with 2 of my anthuriums. This one really took a hit though. So she is about to give me a new leaf. So her chonk looks good. I'm not sure what to do with her. A part of me is saying repot, but I think I'm gonna wait. I think I'm gonna wait and see how that new leaf comes out. I'm gonna give it a little bit more time. Try to make sure I am on the watering, which I usually am on my watering. I told you I'm kind of like an overwaterer, but this girl's just been through a lot. So yeah. Okay, let's get the camera reset and I will walk you guys through this bottom shelf and then we'll do the rest behind me. All right, so what we are looking at here is the bottom shelf of the Barina cabinet. And I've done a few things. So I have potted up or repotted my Anthurium crystallinum. I am obsessed with this plant. It is always doing something for me. She's giving me this new leaf, which is a little wonky, but to be expected considering I did choose to repot her while she was giving me that leaf. Thing is she's giving me these inflows. And I think, and I'm not sure because I've never experienced this, but I do believe she's giving me berries. Which is so freaking amazing. I have been really wanting to grow Anthurium for a while. I just don't know if I should cut this one off so that it can tend to this one more. And it's also about to give me another one. So this thing is just literally unstoppable. Sorry, I was really in there. And I just think she's so beautiful to look at. Thing is since potting her up, she's definitely got room to spread her wings, her leaves, her roots. Doesn't really feel like she's dry yet. It's just kind of hard for me to tell when to water her now, because with her old pot, it was easy. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of dampen this moss a bit. And that way, whatever roots she has kind of under that moss, which she does have a few, at least those will stay damp. It's like hard to even get in here. I try not to move her much. And I never let her dry out. Back here is just my Florida ghost doing ghosty things. I love this plant. He's so cool. My doggy must have gotten to that leaf, but he's definitely constantly giving me growth, bushing out, like just doing the most. I do need to get rid of a couple of these leaves down there. This is a blue oil fern that I just recently got from Blue Moon Tropicals. She came from Blue Moon Tropicals too. And then this is a Amplissimum Silver Streak, I believe. And I recently just got her. I made a big boo-boo with this plant. I thought, okay, cool, I'm going to propagate this because it was such a generous size plant from Costa Farms, actually. And my cuttings didn't go so well. Most of them died, actually. So this is kind of currently what I'm left with. And it looks good. I'm just kind of hoping that, you know, it flourishes. Don't mind any mess down here, guys. I'm always in this cabinet tinkering about. Okay, 1 second. These are just some cuttings. This is a, look at the roots. This is a Rhaphidophora tetrasperma and a lipstick plant, black pagoda lipstick plant cutting. Just gonna top that off. I do need to pot this, but I'm waiting a little while longer for spring because I plan on moving my mother plant back outside, and I plan on adding these to the vine to make it, you know, fuller. This is just a Peru, Monstera Peru, that I am trying to get to root. And I know that seems like a lot of like water, but this cabinet sucks up the water. Now this is very exciting. I will show you. So this plant here, I thought I had lost her. Oh my gosh, you guys, look at that leaf. I haven't even seen it. Like, okay, so I literally, she went down to the stump. Like, she was doing great. She'd sized up. I think actually her last leaf that she gave me before going downhill was around this size. Then it completely just went south. And this was the first plant that I tried that method of layering the leca. And not only did it come back around, she gave me this leaf, which I know isn't great. It's kind of crunchy looking, but it was the first one she gave me. And now she's giving me these beautiful thick petioles, and I think this leaf is going to be magical. In fact, let's give her some room. Oh my gosh, that is so exciting. Okay, and then over here is just a little Easter cactus that I am currently rehabbing for the salon that I work at. He had lost all his little leaves. He's looking a little dry. I'm going to water him. And then this is just a ficus, Shiveriana Moonshine, that I also got from Blue Moon. Looking a little sad, but nothing a little TLC can't fix. So what we're going to do is we're going to move over here now, and we're going to start working in this section here. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put the camera down, and then I guess you'll see me in the frame, but it's just easier than holding it. But yeah, so we have a lot of work to do. Okay, so I am gonna mix some water. I have my big container down here. I apologize, I know it's kind of, let me see if I can, there you go. You're not gonna see my face, but that's okay. And I told you I'm gonna try this Fox Farm. Now, it says for general feeding 2 to 3 teaspoons per gallon. I'm honestly not even 100% sure like how many gallons is this green container, but I've always just started small, if you will. Whenever trying like a new feed, I always just kind of less is more mindset. So with the foliage focus, I was doing one spoon of this and like a squirt of the, oh, what is it called? The Super Thrive foliar spray. And I've had good luck with that. So, I mean, I'm just going to keep the same mindset here, especially when trying a new one. It says 2 to 3, so I'm just going to do per gallon, 2 to 3 teaspoons per gallon. I definitely know this is more than a gallon. So I'm just going to start with 2 and see how that goes. This is interesting color to this fertilizer. It is green. It's like a pretty, I don't know, like a seafoam green. All right. So we're just gonna set that there. And then typically what I do is just fill up my, you know what, I'm gonna do it down here just because this guy is so full. I'm notorious too for spilling water. I always have to keep towels around because I'm always, always, always spilling. Okay, perfect. All right, so now we are off to it. Okay, let's just see. Perfect. All right, so I guess we'll just start up here. I will tilt this up a little bit. Perfect. So up there, I have Monstera esqueleto, I have Philodendron tortum, and I have some cuttings of Monstera albo that I recently took. Everything, you know, they say that you have to water less in the winter months. I feel like I disagree. I disagree because I have had to water more, I feel like, this winter than I had to water all summer, or if it was the same. Anybody else? This is a cute little cactus that John recently picked me up. And he brought it home. It was super sun-stressed. It's not so much sun-stressed anymore because it's not, I don't have it in direct sunlight, but I absolutely thought this was just the cutest, most darling little guy. And, of course, super sweet of him to think of me. I'm going to go ahead and just check on these while we're watering. I took these cuttings, I would say probably 2 or 3 weeks ago. And really, I just wanted to see some root. I'm not really too concerned about seeing like new growth points or anything. I do see roots on every single cutting, which is so exciting. I don't think you guys are going to be able to see them. You might be able to see that one there. But this is the best way, in my world anyways, to propagate Monstera. I'm definitely expecting to lose, you know, the beauty of these leaves, but I'm hoping each one will just produce a new leaf. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to start like a thick vine. The reason I cut mine is because it's such a beautiful specimen. I did get this from Blue Moon Tropicals. You can see pretty much every leaf is a perfect half moon, which is definitely a testament to the genetics of this plant. And the thing is it was just so, it was just like so leggy. So I would be like super happy. This is actually the top cut. I would be super happy just to keep like this and start that on a vine and just like perhaps maybe sell these leaves here. And I still have 2 more cuttings that actually they were the ones, the butt cut, and I just left those in the soil. So that's exciting. I was so scared to cut this plant because it was one of the first, like, you know, special plants that I got, and I paid a pretty penny for it. So of course it's very like nerve-wracking to chop something that you spent so much money on, you know, but it has done nothing but work out in my favor. This girl also has been nothing but a joy to grow. She's super duper easy, never fusses, never had a pest issue. It grows like a weed. And I've currently extended its moss pole because she was just desperate for it. She gives me a new leaf pretty much, I would say, she gives me a new leaf at least every month, for sure. That's for sure. She's actually about to push out another one, which is crazy. And then down here, can you guys see? I'm trying to see what you're seeing on my screen. I have my Florida Beauty, which she just gave me a new leaf, and I'm not sure. These are just some variegated Adansonia. I know I didn't water them, but I'm planning to pot them together. They're gonna be so cute. Okay, let's check her out. This girl is a little beauty. She did get thrips recently. Well, not recently, long enough for me to have treated them, quarantined her, and all that mess, but that was super disheartening to see. She's looking good. She definitely could use a little bit of water. This leaf is going to be variegated, but I'm just hoping that we keep that variegation because she's probably one of my favorites in my collection. I wanted a Florida Beauty for such a long time, and the first one I got actually totally reverted. I don't think it was a great specimen from the beginning, but you know, you live, you learn, and I ended up propagating it to try to get some of the variegation back, and it just totally reverted. This is my Ring of Fire, about to give us a beautiful, beautiful leaf. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be so pretty. It's been a while since that one's really done anything, although I had it in a pretty low light spot for a while, so that's kind of on me. Refilling the canteen. I go through so much water. Now that I have, this is one thing I didn't mention in my semi-hydro video, and I should have. One thing about going to semi-hydro is you are gonna go through so much water, like crazy amounts of water. This is my Alocasia Frydek. I don't even know how well you can see her. This plant has been nothing but a struggle for me since day one. I don't know. I've had her living in the cabinet. She definitely prefers pond. She has nice roots. Like, her roots are perfectly fine. She was doing good, and then I repotted her into this vessel because the one that she was in was too small. And she's just freaking out all over again. Just hoping that she hangs on to this leaf at least long enough to give me a new leaf. Let me just grab some scissors, guys. Sorry. Yes, I do have proper snips, but that's what I have close. So she's back to being a one-leaf wonder. And she is always loaded with spider mites. I think that's part of the problem. So I'm always treating her for spider mites because she always has spider mites. Like this back leaf is covered in them. Let me grab my spray. The problem is, though, is she doesn't seem to like being treated for the spider mites, but I have no choice. They just are relentless. It's very sad. So I now have taken her, I've decided to take her out of the cabinet. She is going to live the solo life of, I also don't know if she loves the Barina light. I think maybe she fusses with her leaves pointing down because it's too bright. That's just a theory. All right, back here is Anthurium, I believe this is Hookery? Yeah, variegated. I got her from Blue Moon Tropicals. I'm just gonna hit these guys back here. I have a Euphorbia Trigona. I have two booby cactuses, cacti. this is a devil's backbone succulent. I have just a little Haworthia here. And then over here, I have a Euphorbia Ghost. And I'm pretty obsessed with this plant. She's grown like crazy recently, but we've been on top of our watering. See how much water we go through? It's crazy. It's not a big deal. I mean, for me personally, I just usually take the water from the hose. I fill up a big, I want to say it's like a 5-gallon canteen, like big giant military style jug. And I let it distill. I just let it distill for a couple days and then I use it. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this cabinet here. I'm gonna get it figured out, how the tall cabinet, let's see. Are you guys gonna be able to see? I probably will have to, oh, this little guy. I did recently just pick this up because I loved the pot. I just thought the pot was so cool. It's kind of hard to see it because I haven't even messed with it yet. But this is just a Scindapsus exotica, I believe. And I do already have this plant. I really bought this for the pot. And I figured, you know, these are so beautiful, this Scindapsus. I can have this in a million places in the house and be happy. In fact, I think I'm going to put her in the bathroom, the plant. And then I'm going to put something else in here. And I think I want it in this area over here somewhere. Anyways, all right, let's open this up. That always makes me so nervous. Okay, so in here, let's see if I can prop this door open. That's the only thing with that cabinet is it just keeps wanting to shut. This is just a little baby spider plant that I got actually from John's mom. I am not the best with growing spider plants, but this guy seems to be holding strong. I also have him in semi-hydro, the substrate that I make, and he seems to be doing good. He's putting off new shoots. You know, we've got some dead ones, but overall, I think that's a good sign. And then up here, this is Silver Stripe. Let me get rid of that leaf. No one wants to see that. Yes, this is Silver Stripe, Philodendron Silver Stripe. And it's just a nice little trailer. I found this pot at the thrift store and I thought it was so cool. Somebody's homemade pottery. And I just thought it was so neat. I have a thing for pottery. Oh my gosh, it's raining out. That means I don't have to water outside. Okay, this beauty, to be very careful with her. This is my Queen Anthurium. I waited forever to get her. I don't know what they have her potted in. This is another one that I have yet to repot because she came unfurling this beautiful leaf and I didn't want to mess with her. The leaf still feels pretty soft, so I think it's probably done expanding. I just think at this point it's got to fully harden off, and then at that point I will probably repot her. But I just thought this pot was so fitting considering all the gossip around this plant. I so far have had a pretty good experience. I mean, she's definitely yellowing off this leaf here, but I think that's to be expected considering she's moved to a new home and you know, she's trying to acclimate to her new conditions. I also have a little terrarium in here that I don't really mess with very often. It just doesn't need it. So I typically just leave it. And then let's grab this guy, this is the one great thing that I got out of that alocasia Freitag. And when I did transfer her to the semi-hydro, I found one corm, and I put the corm, I sprouted it, but the thing is it took forever for it to sprout. When it finally sprouted, I put it under this cloche, and it's pretty much just been living like that ever since. So what's good about this is this guy knows nothing other than, you know, my conditions. So hopefully, I'm hoping so hard that I'll just have better luck with this guy. I don't know if this is just like maybe not the best specimen or something. I just haven't had the best of luck growing it. I know that that is a thing and can happen. So this is just a little, I think what, Howorthia is what they call these. He's definitely looking gorgeous because he's getting a little bit of sun stress from being in under those Barina lights. I guess you guys are kind of getting like a houseplant tour at the same time. I'm gonna probably wrap it up after this cabinet. Maybe we'll do this guy up here and the top, and then I think I'll do the IKEA Millsbow on my own, just because it does go a little quicker. Plus this video will be like 9 years long. All right, and then up here, is my Cissus quadrangularis. And this plant actually does produce leaves, which is pretty cool. All of mine fell off because I underwatered it multiple times, and that's just kind of what happens. But it is giving me what appears to be definitely like some new growth. I don't know if it's a new leaf or just a new sprig. I don't even know what you call these. I'm not sure what these black spots are. That is a little concerning. If you know anything about that, let me know. Kind of looks fungal, but it is giving me new growth, so I don't know. And then the last one I am going to show you in here, or the last one in here, be very careful. Okay. This is Anthurium titanium crossed with Anthurium fingers. So this is called Titan's Fingers. This is a cross from EFG Orchids, which is the nursery that I frequent up the road, not too far. She's about to give me a new leaf. Oh my God. She's freaking happy. She looks a little bleached on this leaf. This was her most recent leaf. I can't believe it's already about to give me another leaf. It just gave me this one, or was unfurling this one. It's kind of surprising, but yeah, so far so good. I did just pot her up. I let her acclimate for maybe a week or two, and then decided to pot her up into the semi-hydro, and she seems to love it. So up here is my Anthurium viridifolium. She is giving me this leaf, which is crazy long. I am gonna just sprinkle a little water in this guy seems to love it in here. John's mom had given me 2 of her spider plant babies, her little pups. It's really hard to see up here, so I just kind of guess with this one. It's always worked out in my favor. Same thing with this guy, just kind of lightly sprinkle in. This is my little Hoya polyneura. My little baby, oh my goodness, this guy has a story. So he was a tissue culture. I wanted one of these so bad. They were still so expensive that I think it was Steve's leaves, or maybe it was what is it? Jack's, I don't even know. I don't even remember the name, you guys. But anyways, I ordered thinking, okay, this is definitely not going to live. At this time, I knew nothing about plants, like nothing. I was just getting started. And I really didn't think that I would keep it alive. And here we are. Like, she is thriving. New leaf coming. So exciting. And yeah, not only was I able to keep her alive, but she is thriving since, especially, I know I keep talking about this semi-hydro, you guys, but I cannot stress enough how much that has changed, like, the growing game for me. My Splendid's about to give me a new leaf. She's also going to need a new pole. And I'm not 100% sure yet what I want to do with her, if I'm being honest. I definitely think this is one I want to grow nice and tall, so I've never repotted her. That goes against my... I think I was just so afraid of her that I was like, no, I'm just going to leave her. But I think we're at a good place, and I think I definitely am at a place where I need to decide, you know, what I'm going to do. I want to grow this plant nice and big. I want a huge, huge Splendid. I just think this plant is so gorgeous. So I think the next step is to go ahead and put her on a real moss pole and go from there. Yes, I think that's what I will do with her. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching and hanging out with me today. Keep in mind, I'm still so new at this YouTube thing that I'm still learning how to edit. You're kind of like along for the ride, all the ride. Like, I truly have no idea what I'm doing. And each video, when I go to edit it, I learn something new. I face different challenges and struggles, and so what I'm getting at is, just bear with me. I know the lighting is not always amazing, and I know if you're watching Planty YouTube, you're probably watching some of the amazing people that I love to watch also, and their content is always so clear and crisp, and the lighting is always perfect, and I hope someday to be on that level. But for right now, I am just excited to get a video out there. So yeah, if you are interested in hanging out, sticking around for the journey, I hope you'll subscribe. I have a lot of video ideas in mind. I have a lot of things that I want to, you know, put out there. So yeah, and the good thing about a small channel, right, is no ads. So, you know, there is that. All right, guys, thank you so much for being here. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.